Thank you for joining us for today's episode of Quality Care Talks. Sponsored by the Health Facilities Association of Maryland, HFAM, Quality Care Talks explores leadership, innovation, and the critical issues facing long-term and post-acute care providers serving Marylanders in need. Whether you are a provider, vendor, or consumer, Quality Care Talks will help you navigate the complex and ever-changing healthcare industry.
All right, Clint Zediak from WGL Energy. Welcome.
Thank you, Joe.
Listen, it's really great to be able to spend some time with you on the phone and talk about this exciting new partnership between HFAM, the Health Facilities Association of Maryland, and your organization, WGL Energy. Tell me a little bit about the company.
Yeah, I would love to. First off, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Really happy to be talking with you this afternoon. But WGL Energy, we are a full spectrum energy company headquartered in Tysons Corner, Virginia. We have regional offices in both Baltimore, Maryland, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at this time, hoping to open up a new office in Philadelphia later this year. We are part of the WGL Holding family of companies that includes Washington Gas, the regulated natural gas utility of the Washington, D.C. area. And we've been in the Maryland market for a while now. Back in 1996, we entered selling natural gas to customers. And back in 2002, we entered selling electricity. And as we talk today, we serve about 95,000 residential customers across the state of Maryland, and about 32,000 commercial customers, everything from your local pizza shop up to the state government and everything in between.
You know, Clint, I was looking at your resume and it's pretty impressive. You started as a Penn Stater and are in fact a trained nuclear engineer, and then you went on to get your MBA in Pittsburgh. How did you get involved with management and sales in the energy business as a trained nuclear engineer?
So that's a great question. I had an early interest in the energy industry early on in college. It was one of those industries that you knew was never going away. The world and the country would always need energy. So I tried to find a place where I could fit in, and I ended up getting into the nuclear engineering program at Penn State and worked at a power plant out in Iowa for a couple years. At that time, the nuclear industry was going through a consolidation, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so companies are buying up nuclear assets, and I found that to be a little more interesting than the day-to-day operations. And so I went to grad school, got my MBA, worked for a company called Exelon for a number of years, and ended up on the sales side of the business. And to me, there's a lot of similarities between engineering and sales, a lot of data, a lot of metrics, a lot of good processes. You work with a lot of smart people. And to me, it was just a natural progression to move in that direction. And I've been in sales about 8 years now, the energy industry about 20, and love every day.
I can hear in your voice that you love it. Now, it seems to me, Clint, that WGL Energy is in somewhat of a unique place in the marketplace, because in terms of offering both systems and service solutions, can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. We are a bit unique in the sense that we can be a full spectrum energy provider with the current infrastructure that we have now. So not only do we offer companies what I'll call your traditional brown power, electricity, and natural gas, we can also offer renewable energy credits, carbon offsets. We finance, own, and operate behind the meter generation, depending on technology, solar, fuel cells, combined heat and power. So as businesses and homes look to satisfy their energy demands, they can come to one shop, WGL Energy, and basically get their energy answers from one company instead of having to go to many.
And one of the things that you casually mentioned there, I want to be a little bit more explicit about, and that is that you serve both the commercial and the residential market, both on the systems and the service solution side.
That's correct. On the commercial side, we have more of a focus right now on the systems and services. And on the residential side, we have more of a electricity, natural gas focus, but we do offer products that consumers can tap into renewable energy sources at their homes, although at this moment, not necessarily on their rooftops.
Well, one of the things that excites me about the WGL energy partnership with HFAM is the fact that we're going to put in place solutions not just for our 150 skilled nursing and rehab or 20 assisted living provider members, but also that we'll be able to stand up a product that's competitive for their employees, for their residential service.
Absolutely, that's correct. And we have a variety of products that are available that enable consumers to buy a fixed price over a period of time, or if they want to buy an index price because they believe power prices will continue to decrease, we can do that as well. So we'll have a variety of options that we can offer and help people make the best decision for their budget and their risk appetite.
You are listening to Quality Care Talks, produced by the Health Facilities Association of Maryland, HFAM. We'd like to invite you to join us at the HFAM Leadership Institute on May 3rd, 2018 at the Hotel at Arundel Preserve. Sponsored by WGL Energy and Medline, the Institute's keynote speaker will be Maryland Secretary of Commerce Mike Gill. To register for the HFAM Leadership Institute, please visit www.hfam.org. And now, back to the conversation.
Healthcare is 24/7, right? It's a people, process, caring business, whether you're a major for-profit enterprise, a non-for-profit enterprise, have a large scalable product workplace, or you're, have one or two centers. It's 24/7. It's people with people. It's process, and it's about quality. So you've got to be able to rely on your power source 24/7. And I love the concept in healthcare relative to energy, this concept of resiliency, where it's not just about being on the grid with power and with traditional power, or off the grid with traditional emergency power in the form of a traditional fuel generator. It's about this integrated total energy resiliency solution. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'd love to. You're right. The industry is changing every day. When it comes to resiliency, for a long time, a lot of people did not think about that. And then when you recall 2012, we had Hurricane or Superstorm Sandy hit the Mid-Atlantic region, and all of a sudden, places in New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware lost electricity for days, weeks, et cetera. And it got a lot of people thinking about that concept of resiliency. And from our perspective, we attack it with our distributed impact approach, which looks not only at price, but also reliability, sustainability, and security all in the same time. And so you can combine different technologies to get that resiliency that you're looking for. So not only can you work on your price from your grid, whether you have a fixed price or an index, as I mentioned before, but you can also invest in behind the meter generation that can either supplement your traditional power or back it up as needed. With sustainability, you can buy into renewable energy assets, whether they're on your property or not. And that sustainability aspect can help you differentiate yourself in the marketplace and grow additional customers if you are a business, or help you reduce your carbon footprint if you're a homeowner. And then with security, we really bring that as a supplier because we've been in business for a number of years. A lot of these technologies and solutions require long-term contracts. So it's very important to know who you're doing business with, how long they've been around, and more importantly, how long they're going to be around. And so combining all that together, we call that our distributed impact approach to market. And that's how we help consumers get resiliency in their energy supply. And you nailed it. From our perspective, the healthcare industry should not worry about where their energy comes from, right? They should worry about patients. They should worry about their business. And we think all of our businesses should have that. So we try very hard to take that energy variable out of their equation and let businesses and homes focus on what's most important to them.
Well, it's so important for you to be a solution on that front and take that variable off the table, because just as in early part of your career, you were sort of experiencing the consolidation of the nuclear power marketplace, we are entering a somewhat disruptive time of consolidation and change in healthcare across the spectrum, not just in post-acute and long-term care, but with hospitals and in assisted and independent living, all driven by, in some cases, the same external factors, in some case by different external factors. But the one constant is that we are living in a time of change and challenge in healthcare, where the common denominator, the most important common denominator, is quality care and predictability, right? And so in that kind of a marketplace, what would be the business case that you would make to either a small for or nonprofit enterprise in healthcare, or a larger for or nonprofit enterprise in healthcare with regard to WGL energy and resiliency?
That is a great question. And it's really hard to give a one size fits all answer, but I'll try. Yeah, what we typically do is sit down and talk to that individual nonprofit or for-profit entity. Everyone has a different requirement, and we try to understand what those requirements are. To some people, price is all that matters, right? And to some people, security is all that matters. And to some people, sustainability is all that matters. And depending on what they're looking for, we can cater our energy solution accordingly. And so it really is a mix. But what we try to do with our approach on the services side, we are very much a mid-Atlantic company. We focus on the state of Maryland, as well as DC, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. And we have these regional sales offices, so we try to be close to the customers. So we try to meet with them, understand where they're coming from. If price is important, we have different products, as I mentioned, that we can give them. If reliability is important, I don't want to repeat some of the things I said before, but it really is a customized approach to how we can make their energy supply as resilient as possible for as long as possible.
I get it. And I think that's very succinct. So listen, what gets you motivated in the morning in this work that you do?
I like that question. Professionally speaking, as I said before, I've been in the industry for 20 years. I came up through the engineering analytics background, and I really like solving problems and getting things done. And quite honestly, there's no shortage of problems in the energy industry. Energy is not going away. The United States needs it. The world needs it. And I really just like getting up every day and trying to tackle those problems. And more importantly, I like setting long-term goals for teams and then working with them day to day to try to get them done. And, when you're in the thick of it day to day, sometimes it does not feel like you're making a lot of progress, but then you pick up your head and you realize, man, 12 months ago, we were here. Now look where the team is here. To me, those moments are very, very satisfying, seeing that progress. And then obviously everything we do is to try to help consumers with their energy spend. And so it's a good way to go to work. I feel like we're making a difference every day, helping people get the energy they need at the price they can afford.
Well, Clint, I got to tell you, I'm a little bit biased. I've had an opportunity to work with some of your teammates and the people that report up your chain, and you have some exceptional team members on your team. You should be very proud of them.
I am. I'm very lucky, Joe. I have to admit, I've been at WGL about 4 years now, and it is a great team of people, and I feel very fortunate to work here.
What do you consider your personal mission, and what kind of personal mission do you help others to discover in the workplace?
I felt very lucky throughout my career. Starting back at the power plant, I've worked for some very good people that taught me how to be a team player, how to get things done, how to see a job through, how to be patient, how to focus on what's important, not get distracted by what's not important. And really, I just try to instill those same sorts of values on the folks that I work with every day, especially those who are just starting their career. I can remember being a young analyst, and some of the senior folks would stay until 6:30 at night helping us go through an Excel sheet. Memories like that to me are just priceless. And so I try to just return the favor and help the young folks that are entering their careers today emulate some of those behaviors.
Yeah, I can hear the passion in your voice when you talk about that. You were pretty blessed and fortunate to have somebody show you that way early in your career, and now you're paying it forward and you're doing it for others.
Yeah, I try to. It sounds like a cliche, but I honestly believe I've been very fortunate to work for some really good people, and I'm just doing my best every day at work to try to inspire others and get them to come to work with the same energy and enthusiasm that I have and a lot of us have here at WGL.
Well, HFAM, I'm really blessed. I've been at HFAM for 9 years now, and HFAM turns 70 this year, which is amazing to me. And we are the largest national affiliated post-acute long-term care association in Maryland. We're associated with the American Healthcare Association National Center for Assisted Living in Washington, D.C. It's a great partnership. And as I said, we represent about 150 skilled nursing and rehab centers that really provide the majority of post-acute and long-term care in Maryland, or for Marylanders in need. And the majority, I guess what most people don't realize is the majority of Marylanders who go from a hospital to a skilled nursing and rehab center in Maryland, they go home on average in about 30 days. And so you have hundreds of skilled nursing and rehab centers in Maryland, about 230 of them. 150 of them are HFAM members, and they're providing like 9 million days of care a year, which gives you a sense of how I feel very, very bullish about healthcare going forward, because we're always going to need healthcare. We're always going to need wellness. And there are going to be people, some of whom are our family members or ourselves, who are going to need to get stronger before they get home after a hospital stay. Or for some, after a period of prolonged chronic illness, are going to really need hospital level care in another setting, in a skilled nursing and rehab center. So I am incredibly bullish on healthcare in general, but also on skilled nursing and rehab and assisted living care in specific. And in this changing marketplace, providers and their employees, again, they want the same thing that patients, residents, and families want. They want predictability. And so if WGL Energy can be part of that predictability solution on the energy side, oh my God, talk about value added.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And wow, 9 million days of care, that is a very impressive number. And going back to some of those customized solutions that we talked about, we really try to work with the customer to understand what they want. We can sign a 1-year energy contract. We can sign a 20-year energy contract with folks and everything in between. So again, depending for what kind of stability, budget certainty, resiliency the entity's looking for, so they can take care of their patients and focus on what's important to their business, we're more than willing and able to help them out. So I see a great synergy there.
I do too, Clint. I'm really excited about the partnership, but we're winding down our conversation. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank you for all that you and your team have already done for HFAM. You've been supportive of our HFAM Leadership Summit, which is coming up on May 3rd at the hotel at Arundel Preserve. We're going to have speaking there, amongst other speakers, our keynote will be Mike Gill, the Secretary of Business and Economic Development of Commerce in Maryland. He's an incredibly insightful leader, and we would not be able to have that event without WGL Energy's support. So thank you very much.
You're welcome, and thank you again for the opportunity. We're looking forward to that event and looking forward to our relationship going forward.
Well, in the coming week, we're going to be working your crew, because we're going to do a little bit of some road trips here and there and get them out and have them see what it means to be a quality post-acute long-term care provider in Maryland. Get them some tours going.
That's perfect. That is the best part of the job, is actually getting out and seeing how consumers use their energy and understanding their businesses. And to me, that's one of those things that gets me out of bed too, because it's the funnest part of the job, always learning and seeing what's going on out there.
Yeah, same here. I'm on average, I'm in one of our member centers about once every 2 weeks. And I got to say, it's one of the best parts of my job. Hey, I got to ask you one last question. I've been really blessed to have a number of mentors along the way. Do you have a mentor that you'd like to acknowledge and remember that really has helped to get you where you are today?
One person doesn't really jump out at me. It's sort of a blend of multiple people that I've worked with. But when I think back, the people that really inspired me were very articulate. They believed in themselves, and they were not afraid to listen and empower other people, though. And they fostered an environment of trust among their team. And so I've sort of built in my mind this, mentor, if you will, based on a lot of mentors that I've had over the years. And that's what I try to bring to our team every day.
Well, Clint, your passion shows. You're a smart guy. There's not a lot of nuclear engineers or rocket scientists that I interview on any given day. So I appreciate the cognitive power that you bring to this conversation. I appreciate the passion I hear in your voice. And I am really, really very, very excited about what WGL Energy is doing for Marylanders and throughout your service area. but I'm especially excited to call you partner and to build our friendship. So thank you so very much for making this time today for the HFAM podcast.
And thank you, Joe. We couldn't be happier to be involved, and this is a great opportunity. And like I said, we're looking forward to May 3rd and the events and relationship afterwards. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Thanks. Have a great week. Be well.
You too.
Thank you for joining us on Quality Care Talks. We would love your feedback on today's episode. Please be sure to rate us on iTunes. And don't forget about the upcoming HFAM Leadership Institute on May 3rd, 2018. Register today at www.hfam.org. We hope to see you there. Quality Care Talks is produced by the Health Facilities Association of Maryland, the state's oldest and largest association of skilled nursing and rehabilitation centers. For more information, visit www.hfam.org or send us an email at hmorris@hfam.org.